Joined now by head coach of the Mavericks. Mike, your comments on tonight's game.
It was going to be a battle, and it was. It was nice for us to finally figure a way to get out to a lead. We've struggled with our starts. I thought we had a better start, and then, I can't say enough about really Sam Morton throughout the entire weekend. Whether it was face-off dot, offensively, responsible. I just thought he had a really good weekend, as well as Livingstone Hiroshi. And I thought Tracy did a really good job. Took him, I think we got to 100 minutes for shutout hockey, and I just liked the way that he handled the weekend, and especially after we gave up the power play goal. I liked how we managed the rest of the game.
Questions?
I'll ask about Sam. He looks like a guy who's had a good summer physically. I feel like he's winning battles. He just looks stronger out there. Talk about Sam's summer and coming into this year, what he did.
You're right on the head of the nail. When you see somebody put the work in that he put in, really just changed his diet, got real serious about trying to be a pro. And I think when you do that, you obviously gain confidence from that. And he's playing with an awful lot of confidence. And I hope he can continue on that path, because those two, they're obviously a hard team to play. And to go out and be as effective as he was, I think is just a statement about all the work that he put in this summer.
Shane Frederick. Mike, I'm sure tonight's game was probably more what you expected for the whole weekend, with UMD being close and close all the way through. How do you kind of recharge after last night, with it being such a dominant win, to be able to play in a game that's much probably tighter all over the ice, harder to play?
Well, we've got some guys that have been around. You've already mentioned a couple, and our guys knew what was coming, and you knew what type of game it was going to be. You go all the way back to, Saturday night a week ago against Minnesota, very tight checking, difficult game to play in, but you have to earn every bit of ice that you can get. And so I want to give credit to our guys, understanding this was going to be a new page that they'd go out and earn what they were going to get. And I thought we did that. I thought, there just wasn't a lot of easy anything tonight. You get both teams score a power play goal, and we find a way to get the even one that gives you the win. And then I thought, again, I thought we managed the back half of the game, but you knew what was going to happen because of just how good of a team Duluth is.
Carson Beal, MSU reporter. Coach, after the Duluth goal got taken off the board back in the second, did that sort of help relax the guys maybe a little bit, or can you sort of talk about maybe if that gave them a boost of confidence?
Yeah, you know what? It's one where both staffs are calling upstairs and saying, are we challenging this? Is it a goal? Is it a high stick? Just asking the officials, and they had said that, the call on the ice was a high stick. Called up, talked to Luke Regner, our hockey ops. He said it's definitely a high stick. So, there wasn't a lot of panic on our bench. I think just because we tried to communicate that with the players, that's what we had got from up top. And that happens a lot in a game. Both teams, whether it happens to us or to them, you try and stall as long as you can to see if you can get that confirmation from up top. Sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't.
Speaking of that, it seems, between what happened at the end of last night's game to tonight, there just seemed to be a lot of maybe replay confusion all over the place, whether it was how that was going to be challenged or reviewed. It looked like maybe Scott wasn't sure if he was wanting to actually challenge, and then there was time put back on the clock at the end, and then more time put back on the clock during your timeout. Is it just early season for everybody?
Yeah, I think so. If they were going to put the other, what was it, 1.2 up, I don't know if I'd have taken the timeout. But hindsight's 20/20, and yeah, I mean, we're, it just nobody's perfect, including us, including the officials, the scorekeepers. We're just, you know what? Hopefully, we're all just going to continue to get better moving forward, and hopefully, we can have cleaner finishes. When we're talking about, technology, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Kevin Dudley with the Mankato Free Press. Cade last night mentioned the power play, moving the puck quicker. He thought was something that helped. I just thought that your power play, even when you weren't scoring, was giving you guys momentum, and it did seem like you got a lot of good looks. How big was the impact of the power play just the whole weekend?
Well, for us, you look through the first 2 games against Minnesota, we didn't score a power play goal, and we struggled offensively. It's a momentum changer, just like it is when you kill a 5-minute major like we did against the University of Minnesota last weekend. Momentum is a big thing, and especially when you're at home in a full building. Last night we got a lot of mojo from our fans by scoring power play goal and getting the emotion and getting the crowd into it. And tonight, getting the first one, and then extending that lead, because at that time Duluth was making a push. I thought we were on our heels a little bit when we ended up getting the power play and scoring the power play goal. So it was definitely a difference maker in tonight's game.
Coach, I'm sure you've seen the stat, but over the past 5 years, MSU's led all of Division I hockey in the wins column, and a lot of those have come here on home ice. Can you talk a little bit about defending in home ice and maybe what it means to this group playing here in front of this crowd?
Well, last night I had an opportunity to see Jack McNeely, Reggie Lutz, Edmund Hookinson, some guys that have laid the bricks on the road that these guys are walking down, and there's always been an idea that we needed to defend home ice. And I think the community, the students, everybody that now has come into this building on a consistent basis and allows us to play at 90, 95, this over the first 3 games, close to 100% capacity, they make it a difficult place. We've got to go do our job, but they make it a very difficult place. Even, you go to the Minnesota game, and it took us a while, but they've stuck with us. Last night, we take a couple of penalties, and they stuck with us. So I think there's a pride inside that room. If you want to be there at the end of the day, you better be able to defend your home ice, because you've got to find a way to win games like we did tonight. And I just think this has become a very special building for the fans, but definitely for our players at being able to go out and pull a jersey over your shoulders and go out and play in front of this group.
Last question, if anybody has one. No, we're good.
I know it's early and you don't want to look too far ahead, but when you get 2 like this, just pairwise, does it make you breathe a little easier when you can think that you've got 2 this big against a team of this caliber in the bag?
Maybe for about 48 hours. I think the one thing about our sport that's pretty unique compared to other sports at the Division I level is the parity. If you're not prepared and you don't play well, you're going to get beat. And I don't care who you're playing. So it was most important because they were the games on our schedule. And knowing the quality of the schedule that Duluth's going to play and what their record's going to be, yeah, it's a very important weekend. But when we get together on Monday, we'll have to turn the page and start a new chapter. And then it's up, I don't know what St. Cloud did tonight, but I know they beat Wisconsin in Wisconsin 5-1 last night. They're a very quality team. We've struggled in that building before. So we'll have our work cut out for us, but it's been a good first 2 weeks.
Thanks, Hasty. Congrats on a great
Thank
week.
you.